Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101, about 5 minutes away from 9 o'clock. We will give you another chance at the Third Eye Blind tickets and Yellow Card at Northerly, Iowa. Ticket Blitz Thursday will be every hour today. So not only at 9, then Lauren will have starting at 10, then Brian Phillips later on in the afternoon. So every hour, Third Eye Blind, free tickets. We give you more free tickets than anybody else in the country, let alone the city of Chicago. That's what we do.
Woohoo!
So a band sold their music library for $1.27 billion this week, making it the largest deal ever. This started about 5 to 6 years ago, I think, where artists, first off, if an artist has their publishing in the beginning, it used to be kind of rare because the record companies in their first deal would, we own part of the publishing or whatever. And then bands started taking control. Artists started taking it. Well, I'm going to keep my publishing no matter what. Mm-hmm. And now they've gotten to a point where these bands that are older usually have sold their libraries for massive amounts. You don't hear about too many younger people selling them, but the older bands that have been around.
You gotta wait for the cash out value to be what it is. You kind of want to be done.
I think it'd be hard for someone really young to sell out their library, but
you just wouldn't. It would be like a loss.
So the winner is of the number one money grab for their library is Queen. So Queen sold it to Sony for $1.27 billion. That is the highest number as far as billion. That's the highest number as far as going through some of the situations where people have sold music. We can't get any more numbers higher than that right now.
Wow. See, if you would have asked me the highest, I would have guessed the Beatles.
That makes sense.
Do you know what the Beatles went for?
So in the 80s, Michael Jackson outbid Paul McCartney for $47.5 million. He got the Beatles catalog, okay?
Okay.
Then Michael Jackson died, and his estate was not necessarily in debt, but certainly in disarray.
Yes.
And they sold it, or somehow back to Sony and Paul McCartney. So Paul McCartney now owns the rights back to the Beatles, but it was a, quote, private settlement with Sony.
Now, I want to bring this up because doesn't that sound sketchy as hell? Because, every other sale is so public. That, to me, gives, just so you know, Sony, I know all these things that you're covering up. So I'd like my catalog. And they're sold in a private settlement. Please don't release our secrets.
The price I'm thinking is free.
Yeah. Amen. How about you just keep that to yourself? Here is your rights. That's the vibe I'm getting because every other number is public as hell.
Yeah, it does.
It's sketchy.
If you're Paul McCartney, you can do what you want probably and get that done. For example, Bruce Springsteen sold his. You think, well, that should be in that range. Well, he sold his for $550 million.
Still good. I don't think he's not having a hard time.
Yeah. But the thing is, I always thought these people wanted to die with their catalog. I wrote these songs. It's more important. How much money can you have? That's me counting someone else's money, which isn't fair, but still, $500 million, and they already have $500 million. Bruce Springsteen easily already had that.
Well, I feel like, here's the deal. Obviously, group is getting older.
Yeah.
I think you wait till, you're I don't think they're dropping an album probably soon. So it's this is the time to sell it because then that money, you could keep in your family too, to make sure your family benefits from it, all that. Because you do, you can leave a will and you can do stuff, but that's when people can rework and reword. You're not there to speak on it anymore. So I totally agree with you're older in your career. You've really made that money off your catalog. Now to sell the catalog to really make sure your family benefits from it, $2 billion ought to do it. Keep the family tight.
Well, what this says to me is they don't trust their family members with their music after they're gone. For example, is Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody, going to be the next Harold and Kumar movie? And they're
well, that wouldn't even be bad.
It wouldn't be.
I don't know what the deal is. Why are you doing that?
Yeah, I just think that they don't trust what's going to happen to their music without them in control of it. So I'll just rather take the cash at this point. You know what I mean?
See, it's probably good I'm not related to an artist. I mean, bad for me, but good for them. Because, if they died, I was in charge of the state, I'd be like, run it. Yeah, put it in there. It's a great song. I get it.
I want this in a Kia commercial. Done.
Yeah, it was awesome. They're great. It's a good song.
Kenzie's like that. Is it a Donald Duck meme where he's sitting there walking, counting the money?
I don't know.
It's a Donald Duck GIF.
Well, now I'm going to look up a Donald Duck GIF counting money.
Yeah, there's a GIF where he's just walking, counting cash. That's Kenzie with a catalog of music.
Well, like, I don't know. You're worried? Like, what are you worried? Yeah, that's it. I see what you're saying. I know I feel, yeah.
Yep.
That's about the size of my ass, too, unfortunately.
I didn't want to say you're built like Donald Duck, but you are built like Donald
It
Duck.
sucks.
Oh, come on.
And my height, oh, God, this is just a picture of me. That's a bummer.
I'm glad you said it before I did.
Oh, no.
That sucks.
Oh, jeez. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. But there are, actually, I just found a couple. There are some younger bands, like Justin Bieber in 2023 sold the rights to his catalog for $200 million. So I don't know if he owns, like, it was maybe half, because some of those were half, or they're buying into.
That's just weird. You just pick, like, I want this song, and I want this one, and you can have Baby. And I feel like, is that what you do? These are my favorites. And I never want to sing that one again.
Yeah, it's really wild, the amount of money that goes for these. I guess, I don't know how they're going to get it back. Like, Sony now has spent billions, and it's been clear that the artists don't make tons off streaming. Like, when they're on Spotify, they make, like, pennies
But
on
I bet
those things.
Sony does.
Yeah, they figure it out.
That's what I'm saying. That's beneficial because I think streaming services create huge contracts with, like, your streaming apps because they own a lot.
Yeah, and again, they'll be used, like for
Warner,
everything.
was it Warner that was threatening to pull all their artists off, like, Instagram? And so, like, these huge contracts benefits them.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that a person probably wouldn't live long enough to see the benefits. Sony should be around long enough to see the benefits of that.
They're probably fine.
They'll be okay.
Yeah. Finally, let's leave on a positive note. Here's a mariachi band that went viral singing Creed's Higher.
Ooh.
Sounds like a good combination.
Let's make our escape, so let's go there. Ask, can we stay? Can you take me higher?
I gotta admit, it sounds like just Creed.
Yeah, it does.
It's not
Did he
mariachi
just-
enough for you?
Did he hire a guy just to do the in the background?
Yeah, there's some horn sections. When they play at Tinley Park later this year, probably have some horns in there for that part.
Kenzie, what do the horns sound like?
Exactly right.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and I know, listen, I mean, both baseball teams, yesterday was a tremendous day for Cubs baseball as I was in the house and pulled the red line doubleheader. And baseball right now, we're not even to the All-Star break. We're not even there yet, but you do have to start thinking about your Chicago Bears and the most anticipated season yet coming up. It's going to be wild. You think ahead, and what happens then? You get things set better, like going to London to see the Bears and the Jaguars, and we have a trip set up, and everything went over this with a fine-tooth comb to make sure this would be an elite, memorable trip forever for you, not just getting a flight and going to the football game, which is pretty awesome, by the way, but this has all the other good stuff. We call it the accoutrement, the extras.
Yes, this is like a trip. This is not fly in, see the Bears fly out. This is a tourist awesome trip to London with a Bears ticket. So we're going to see the Tower of London. We're going to take a trip to the London Eye, iconic on the water. We're going to do a walking tour of London, a full day of that. A cool pub crawl, because obviously super known for that. All the historic pubs. I can't wait. A curated food tour. Now, you also are going to save money here because obviously lots of drinks are included because there's a pub crawl. But it's breakfast daily. A 3-course welcome dinner, all your back and forth, the luxury coaches taken care of, round trip, that Bears ticket, which includes some food and drink, which obviously a normal Bears ticket does not.
Yes.
So this is such a good deal for all that you're doing.
Yeah.
And then also just the confidence that you can trust the trip, because it's hard to book international. I handle all the international travel for me, my husband, and you're like, well, I hope they're there. Like, I just put in a lot of information. It seems vetted, but like, obviously, like, you know us, you know me and Brian.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more comfortable, and it's just going to be such a fun group, because when you book these excursions, you can't pick who's on there, but these are going to be awesome Q101 listeners.
Be us.
On top of it, and Brian and I,
Our family.
it's gonna be lit. Okay, so I am so excited for this. It's the people you want to be around. It's the Bears you want to see, hopefully. But it should be the Bears that you want to see. And it's the classic, iconic London that, like, who wouldn't want to visit that?
Well, especially if you've never been, and Kenzie hasn't been. I've been once, and it was for an NFL game years ago with my wife for the Eagles game against the Jaguars at Wembley Stadium. This will be at Tottenham Stadium, so I'm stoked to see that different environment. And also, you'll have a little bit of free time in between. Maybe go see Abbey Road, the little Instagram picture of walking across Abbey Road. Everybody's going to look at it and go, damn.
We have to walk across it.
Yeah. I did it when I was there. I almost got hit by a car.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they're so sick of it. They're like, we're not stopping.
Yeah, the neighborhood doesn't like it. But you know what? You're only there for a couple days. You can do it. You're never going to see them again. So go over and do the Abbey Road thing. Kenzie made a really good point about planning trips, that so much time, sometimes you get over there and you're like, well, you got to spend 2 hours in a hotel room on Google to figure out what to do and how to get everywhere. This is all taken out of your hands. We've got you covered. So go to Q101.com/London for all the information. Again, Q101.com/London. Book your trip now. Only deposits needed by the end of June. So what is it, the 20th?
Yeah.
About a week, about 10 days, 11 days you got.
Oh, a lifetime, baby.
So get in on it. Q101.com/London to join us for the Bears trip. And so stoked about it. Want you there. Check it out and join us. Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And Lauren coming in. Taking the rest of this Ticket Blitz Thursday for those Third Eye Blind tickets every hour. So next hour, she'll have another one. Should I give our word out one more time?
You should, because even if you text now, you can double your chances to win at 10 with Lauren.
Double down.
And he's not saying text that word. He's saying it's just if you do it.
No, text
in
what?
this moment.
Text what word, Brian?
It would be blind, as in Third Eye Blind. Text that word right now to 312-591-8300 for the Live Nation concert with Third Eye Blind and Yellow Card, sponsored by Aurelio's Pizza, celebrating 65 years of memories in every bite. Aurelio's Pizza, it's the sauce, man. So do that now. Text blind. You have about 15 minutes left, and then Lauren will give you a new word in the 10 o'clock hours. Text all day until you get the damn tickets. It's going to be a great show. Case, what do you got for takeaways here?
708 checked in. This is Neil from LaGrange. He said, takeaway, if you're going to name your baby after Golden Corral, you need to name it Golden, not Corral.
I mean, what a missed opportunity. What happened?
You know, this is a woman that had a baby, you have to hear in the podcast, but she panicked. She went with Corral because it sounded cooler for a minute, but then we're like, ugh.
When you think about it,
You know,
Golden was on the table.
yeah, golden right there.
Oh, Lord.
What do you got, Kenzie?
Double features, Mike. Takeaway. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. Correct.
And finally, this comes from 630. Kenzie is really good at trumpet sounds. Now, here we go with a mariachi band playing Creed that just sounds like Creed with like one guy with some horns. So good.
So let's go there. Ask can we stay? Can you take me higher?
We need that more. Can you take me higher? Oh, that's so good.
It's like you're there. Did you replay the audio or was it me?
Who knows? Wow. Good job.
Thank you.
In the future, we should have a trumpet segment every day.
A trumpet segment?
At one point, where you can do that. How's it go again?
You're welcome.
It's really shifted into something else.
I can see Kenzie's album dropping with trumpet sounds.
Was she Kenny G?
Yeah.
Kenzie K, Kenny G. Yeah, there you go.
I'm a professional. Shut your whore mouth.
What's on the podcast today, Case?
We talked about how offices are still trying to get workers back into the office, and they might be able to do that with either a pizza party or cocaine. Also, we broke down Justin Timberlake's DWI, which has brought forth such great unintentional comedy. This could really impact his tour. What tour? The world tour?
Yes,
Period.
right.
And finally, Brian begged Kenzie to commit a felony on his behalf. And if you want more information on that and everything else, that is on the Brian and Kenzie podcast.
Everyone comes to me for stuff.
Especially felonies.
So annoying.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.